Off. Here we go. All right, Kelly. Oop, now you're muted, Kelly.
Up, and Lori can't get in, obviously.
Huh? She's passing the torch to me. Okay.
Is Lori okay?
She can't get into her Zoom. You can see.
She's trying to get on the phone. I don't even know what I'm.
She said you had a special all one team announcement. Okay.
I think she's frozen. Otherwise, she has a really big smile.
Love technology. Kelly's all one, all right.
We should do when she comes back. Just smile.
I don't know what the all one announcement is, or I'd try to help out here.
Can Lori go back? Maybe she's muted on her just computer.
She's been having problems with her router, so hopefully she can get it fixed.
She can call in.
It's funny kind of watching her try to figure it out being all muted.
She's looking disgusted. All right.
Okay, I'm back.
Sorry about Kelly?
That.
That's Kelly, but
is Lori in or no?
Lori's not in yet.
Okay, I know. Okay, I didn't read the message that she sent me, but I'm good now. I know what she was talking about.
Okay.
So, okay, so it was just what I wanted to. Her and I spoke earlier, and I just, I want to thank everybody for coming together, because I know this is totally a work in progress, and there's, a million different things that we have to go through. But I think the biggest thing that I'm taking from
oh my gosh,
Paul and Lynette is that, we just have to go first, and we just need to work through this all. We are amazing leaders. We have a group of amazing people, and there's going to be lots of crazy ideas, there's going to be lots of crap to get through. But I think that this is exactly what we're all looking for, and it's going to take our team to levels that we can't even imagine. So, leaders go first. We will figure it out. Everything will work out, and this is going to be amazing. So let's just bear that in mind while we work through all of the crap. So that's it.
Thanks, Kelly. Lori, are you good?
Oh, my Lord. I don't know why I can't figure out this thing. I don't know. It wouldn't. I turned on my settings, audio, video, and it still had nothing, so I called in. So this sort of works.
Yeah,
Someone can train me later. Yeah, and so I'm on the phone, but nothing comes out of my iPad. I don't know. I just basically was thinking, why don't I run through what we want to talk about so we make sure we hit everything that needs to be talked about, because it's going to be a lot better this way than all these messages, I'm sure. So you guys remind me, I just jotted some things down that came to my mind. So let me know if there's a topic we need to hit that we've been discussing that we need to figure out, okay? So the biggest thing I know is Jesse's on, right? Correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Jessie is going to share the checklist that she created. We're so blessed to have you in this organization. And so that we can be duplicatable to everyone finally, right? Meaning, I know that we're going back and forth with, okay, you need to add this and what the come firm on what the global executives suggest, so we're all on the same page, and we can make a list that could be shared in ISA for wealth for duplication of everyone. So I know that's a big thing. And then we want to talk about administrators and their roles, and maybe split that up for people who are definitely, a hawk on at certain times or certain days, and everyone who wants to be an administrator. And I guess to me it was the roles that we're expecting if you're an administrator. Okay. And then I know Cindy brought up a good topic of the changes needed for ISA for wealth. We need to talk about those. One thing that I guess you guys can add to that, one thing that I wanted to at some point discuss is that I've already noticed. I know they talk a lot about, posting yourself and all the things you want to do on your personal page and HHP. And then we want to cheer and support each other while we're also posting our own. And I think that's already, I'm seeing people not get as much support on their personal timelines. Like I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I definitely noticed it from other people, a lot of your prospects too are seeing everything in HHP. So I kind of want to talk about a system because they really talked about how you need those comments on your posts to get seen. So I wanted to talk about maybe if we had ideas to almost be strategic about that, because as you guys all know, there's only like 1,400 Isogenics people in your newsfeed, and as much love as you want to give on them every day, now that we have HHP too, you just can't. So I don't know if it'd be almost, I don't know. I have different thoughts on that, but that was something I definitely wanted to call to attention. So because I can already see that struggle. But is there anything else we should be adding to that we need to? I'm just going to leave it up to the people who are kind of on these roles. Erica, do we need to talk about your post of the pricing, or you just got that?
Well, I created it, and it's a 2-page document. So the first page walks them through the figuring out their budget, figuring out their current foods, and asking about what 2 meals they would replace, really reiterating that it's replacing food they're already eating, that most people save money. And then the second page goes into the good, better, best, the custom. I did the basic custom 30-day system, pace setter pack, and president's pack. So I have it in a PDF form. So I don't know if we want to have it there and then tag people, or if you just want to use it to send to people directly. So
Erica, did you make that up yourself, or did you get it? Because I had seen it. I had seen the 3-pack somewhere, but it was like, on somebody's blog or something, and they had the 3. I don't know.
I sent it to her. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but I had already created. I already created it before you sent that to me, Lori.
Cool.
But can we do a screen share here, and I can show it to you real quick?
You can do a screen share. Do you know how to do it?
I'm learning right now.
Okay, so bring your arrow down like to the bottom where you see all of us, and then you'll get another bar kind of where the mute button was at the bottom. And it should say share screen there right in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you get to pick the window.
Okay. Of course, it's at the top.
This is cool.
Okay, you get to see all my crap that I've got open at once. Of course, it's up at the top. Hold on.
Good thing it's not porn or something.
Yeah. Not like.
Oh, is that recorded?
Yes.
I am Miss Prim and Proper. Don't you know that? I curse like a sailor, but I'm a good kid. So here's the, can you guys see it?
Yeah, yeah.
Just let me know when you want me to start scrolling down.
And this is just me. Do we want to call them popular? I know they're technically weight loss systems, but I think we start a lot of people on them even if they're not. But maybe we want to switch that because of all the energy and, all the separate custom packs.
Well, here, I don't.
That's why I wrote, if you need to lose 5 or more pounds, we recommend starting with one of these packs for your first month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not massive weight loss. Yeah.
I like that you wrote that first, Erica. Maybe the title should just change. And I did like the way Paul and Lynette said that it's just a post that's in there somewhere, and then we tag them, and then it brings it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool because then it's not just sending them, but that all of a sudden their name appears. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
A cool concept.
How about popular getting started packs or something like that?
Okay. Yeah. So this kind of just walks them through the budget, and then you can see the second page then goes into the actual packs.
Yeah, I was almost thinking of making this. Shouldn't we put this in the file section so it's easy to find, and then we can tag them there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you see wherever it is. Like I said, they just talked about, right, that it was somewhere whoever had tagged it last.
Mm-hmm.
And in essence, quite honestly, if there's a lot of people that were constantly added, it should always be near the top.
Yeah, anytime you tag somebody in it, it'll pop back up.
Right, hopefully, but I'm thinking if we put it in the file section, it'll definitely be easy to find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I made it into a document to be able to put it there rather than just a post that winds up getting buried.
Right.
Well, and second of all, I don't know if that's the first thing you want them to see anyway. The first thing we want to watch is the video. So if it's in the file section, we can kind of direct it to them at the right time. Possibly
and that's another thing I wanted to ask. You know, do we want that webinar at the top still, or
I don't know.
are we going away from that and just doing and linking the individual videos throughout the thing?
That experience I suggest for the Start Your Life.
Yeah.
So maybe we need, well, here's the thing. I still find, and I don't know if we're going to update the webinar. I don't know if it needs to be pinned. I still find it helpful because it's so weird how there's so many different kinds of people. You know, I ask them to, you ask them, okay, did you watch this that I asked you to? And they're like, no, they just want to talk on a phone. You know, there is everyone. So then she's like, I want to talk to my husband and he's going to do it too. And of course, I did say, well, now this would be a good opportunity for you guys to both watch the webinar. She's like, yeah, that'll work perfect. So I don't know that it needs to be pinned and how it would work in the system, but I guess in some ways I'm still finding it helpful for the nuts and bolts. Unless it's maybe just covered in Erica's document instead.
And I'm sorry, I haven't watched that webinar. So can you give me a basic overview of?
It's Cindy's webinar.
That's the one that Gina and I did. Tiffany did them with me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually, it's on my to-do list to do an update. I just got a new PowerPoint presentation with the new products and from corporate, so I thought I would do another one, but I didn't know if it would fit into this or not, so I haven't done it just because I didn't want to do it if we weren't going to be sharing it. But if you guys want it and someone wants to do it with me, I would love to do it again.
I think it's still a good tool. I don't know how it fits in here, but I think it's still very useful. I think there's two different kinds of people who want maybe that little bit more detail, and then there's people who like, just tell me how much it is, and then you can use Go Faster to Erica's. I don't know. Is there anything that we think of off the top that needs to be pinned to the top? I know the global executives use the price pack, and that's what's pinned to the top. I believe that's what they said. It was pinned to the top of the page.
That document?
And I don't know if it's a document. It's a post about the pack pricing and goes into detail, probably similar to what Erica just created.
Right. That's what we were saying, to keep that up at the top, whatever. I mean.
Well, either that or it's a file. So which would we rather do? Maybe we should go to the checklist first and go through the system, and it'll make more sense of the way it should go through.
Now, are you saying if it's a PDF, wait, are you saying that, okay, so then we would just bring the PDF in and then tag the person there?
Yeah, I like the idea of it being a file, because then you can tag the person, within a couple of days after they've taken a look at the page, they've zoomed around, you've included videos.
We don't really want it to be the first thing they read.
Yeah. So that's why it probably shouldn't be a pinned post. It's going to wind up.
Oh, definitely not a pinned post. Yeah.
And the thing is
like, that's what they do. Weird.
Really?
I thought it was weird.
So.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that's what we have to do.
Right. They don't. I mean, that's kind of down their list that you tag them in that. I mean, it comes after the Eric Hoover, or Experience Isogenics, whatever the new one is, or the Start Your Life. Then it comes after the Eric Hoover video. I mean, it's kind of far down, so it's interesting that they would have it pinned. When you
that or it's a post they tag.
What?
I know they said they tag them on a post, and I don't think it was a files document, but I think what we're saying works just fine. I think we're all in agreement that the PDF is a better way. But before, is there anything else we need to discuss? Because I sort of went off tangent. The duplication that Jesse's going to talk about, the administration, ISA for Wealth. I brought up supporting people somehow on their personal, just making sure everyone's supported on their personal pages so everyone grows. Is that it? If
Lori,
you think of something else.
Me to put the file in one, where should I put it so everyone has a chance to look at it?
Well, I think we need, do you want to read through it? I think that's what I was thinking we were going to do. No?
Or you could share it.
I'd rather have them see it and we can go through it together. So.
Oh yeah, can you put it? I don't know how to do that. Tara, you know how to do that?
Are you on your computer?
Which site am I putting it on?
Oh, yeah.
She's not on.
Well, I could. I mean, did anything change, Jesse, from when I sent it back to you?
No.
Okay, so Tiffany, you could.
Other than making a number 3 and number 4.
Yeah.
So Jesse, Tiffany is going to open the document, and then she could share her screen with all of us.
Okay.
So
Thanks, Tiff.
Sure. So let me do that here. So share screen. And there we go. Okay. Okay, can you see that?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, you have. Oh yeah.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, it just took a minute for it to register. Okay, so I'll scroll down when you guys are ready. So it just starts with the prospecting part, give some examples of what to say.
Oh, this is basically their notes from that call, yes?
Kind of, but I mean, Jesse started it and I added to it. So we took what we learned from the training and put it in our own form.
Right. They said, hey, are you on Facebook?
Right.
Okay, so go down. I think the biggest part is how there's steps once they add them, and that's where the conflict's coming in. Yeah.
So here we say add the new prospect to the page, create a welcome post, and what we have in there, the welcome, the post should only be for new prospects, not for existing associates, and the reason why. We just have a couple of examples of posts they can use.
Good job.
Wait, go back.
Okay.
Just want to see. Now, did they, I don't remember, not a welcome post, but when one of these people decides to join, do they even just give them a kudos?
Somebody asked that and they said, yes, that would be a great idea. I think Lynette responded back and said that would be great. Okay, so then it's, once the welcome post is posted, put in the comments section and the video, and we have the links to the videos, and we explain why the videos should come from YouTube and not from the ISA movie.
I'm going to just jump in here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back on one of the welcome posts, it said something about being a high energy group. And I know at some point we talked that that's something we don't want to say. Or maybe we don't want to say it when we're inviting.
No, right. You don't say it when you're inviting. You tell them that before. This is going to be I'm going to add you to my support page. This is going to be a super busy, high energy group. You're going to love it. You're already supposed to set that expectation before.
So here, where it says this part.
Before the welcome.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nitpicky point. I just know we talked about it. I just wanted to call attention to it.
Yeah.
I was thinking it, Lori, so I'm glad you said that. The other thing I wanted to clarify, and I guess I've heard from other people that I know that some things may seem like small details and other things may not, but the way they refer to this all the time is this is a product page.
The product page, right, not the support page.
Yes, and support page. So the product page, amongst team members, you're referring to it as the product page. When you're inviting an outside party, prospect, you just say, well, what Lynette said, she says, is this my, it's a support page or my support page or our support page.
Tiffany,
the word team is never used. The word team is never used.
Yeah, we have that right, and we have that right there. Do not mention this as a team or refer to a team.
Okay, great.
In my welcome post, I've been using, not necessarily my welcome post, but kind of my welcome comments. I've been using the word community, and I know a couple of people have commented that they like that word, so maybe.
Yeah, that's a great word.
It is a great word, because they want to feel a part of community. Mm-hmm. One of the things in here, though, go back where it says, all right, so right there, don't scroll anymore. It says, once the welcome post is posted, either you or another team member. I think it was important that they said it was another team member. And that's one of the things that I think at a minute it would be like an assignment. Like this week, you need to be the one to, because that person puts in the video or the tool. And I think it does show that community that, hey, welcome, like here's some other stuff. So you shouldn't just be throwing everything at them, but utilizing the tools and this community. So you see where it says either you or another team member will add a link to to it because it came right after it. It was like, welcome. And then somebody else, because she said if she posted it, then Paul would go right in there and put the tool in.
I definitely agree that it would be great, but I think how is that going to really work? I mean, they work as a team. They're doing it together.
Right, but I think that that's what we would need to, like, somebody would need to be the one doing that, you know? And, you know, I don't know, it could be, I mean, I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head here, but it could be maybe there's on Facebook, we have a chat, you know what I mean? Like a private chat. And if you don't notice, somebody could just say, hey, I just added someone. And whoever the watcher or whatever, the 2 watchers for the week, they know if they missed it to go in there and add that tool. If there's only going to be...
She says it can be the person that added them too. I think I thought when I read the expectation, it is you go in.
Yeah.
I think they're helping other people out when they're saying Paul goes right in and adds the tool. Or maybe he does for her real quick, but it's the person that, because when I sent her a message asking for clarification on follow-up, she goes, you can't mess it up. Here's how you do it. You welcome them. She kept saying you add the tool. You then do this. You then do that. Now we've been jumping in, and we still can for new people and adding a tool. I just think that we need to make sure people are not upset that's where I think a lot of misconception is getting, that the team member didn't have a chance to get the tool up and someone else put it up for them. And I guess we all have to understand that's just teamwork, and I don't know if we can have a personal say on which way we prefer it. It's either or maybe you wait a certain amount of time. If they just added them a minute ago, maybe they're trying to get the appropriate tool. So let's think about this. Does every single person want the same tool? And who knows that person and that prospect best?
Wait, but this tool is the Eric Hoover tool. I mean, that was
no, this isn't.
This is the Y Isogenics.
This is why.
Y Isogenics or Start Your Life.
Right.
Or the Team Isogenics one is a good one if you've got somebody who's more athletic, like that person you just talked to yesterday, Lori.
Yeah, and I'm going to add I was thinking about that, trying to decide which tool, but I did decide to give him the Y Isogenics one, and the next one I'm going to add is, I might personal message him the Team Isogenics one, because I still think, I mean, he's just he's not just an athlete, and he has his whole family. I think personally, the whole spectrum of Isogenics is what I want to share first, just like she has, and then get more specialized in their goals.
And look at that video. It has JJ Burden in it. It has those athletes in it
exactly.
It's kind of
all
long,
encompassing. It is long, but I think people who are interested will watch it. But anyway, point being is, do you want other people to decide which tool you put in goes in the comments first for your prospect? Are you okay with that? Or is everyone okay with that? Or do you want to be or does the person adding them want to be the person picking the tool? I know Erica's using Are You Toxic?
You know what? I think everyone's going to have different ideas. And there are those of us who are business builders who have an idea of what they want to do. And then we've got all of our new people on our teams who don't have a clue how they'd ever decide. And they need us to help. And yet, Tara, I'm not sure how your idea would work, because last night before I went to bed, I was just kind of scrolling through the news feed, and I happened to find, and it just happened to be a whole string of welcomes from Nikki Blocker that nobody had replied to, and that was from 17, 18, 19 hours earlier. And I had scrolled through several times earlier in the day, and because of the amount of stuff, I never saw them. So I made a note, mental note. So I woke up this morning and I did a search for Nikki on HHP and got that Y Isogenics plugged into all of those. So too many people are going to fall through the cracks. That was just an accident.
Well, I think that's why it would need to be, look, everyone's not going to be an administrator. So everyone's not going to think, oh, she's going to do it. She's going to do it. She's going to do it. But if you just had a chat group on Facebook to say, you could even say, just added someone this tool. I got the impression that I thought it was kind of cool to show, like, look at all these people working together versus welcome, let me throw this tool at you, let me throw this, versus.
I think the way that it's going now is actually working really well, where, some of us that want it posted, we're posting it right away. We're noticing the ones that aren't in there and we're adding it. Other people are going to take care of it. I think we start doing chat messages. I know I get annoyed when people are like, oh, hey, show me some love on something. I'm like, well, I'm kind of busy right now. You know what I mean? Like, I will show you love when I'm on Facebook again. I always show love.
Right. But if you were the person assigned to it, I mean, like, let's say you had to
assign somebody to this makes it not organic either. And it starts becoming, it starts, I don't know. I think if you happen to be on a post and notice it's missing, put it on there. All of us can just make an honest effort. And as we have people moving up, we tell them the same thing. Like, hey, if you noticed a post, somebody doesn't have a video in there, plug one of them in. But mention something, not just putting a link, saying something like, hey, welcome to the team. If you haven't seen this already, take a look at this video. It's about 13 minutes long, gives a great overview of the culture. It's called Why Isogenics. And then there's that link of just, making a point that it's in there sometime in that first day that it's posted. But we
and Caroline, right. My vision of this checklist is just to be a checklist. I mean, we can go into really a lot of detail with this, but I feel my vision was that we were going to do trainings and say, here's a checklist to go back to. But when we do the training on this part, then we can say, it's up to you whether you want to do the post or if you want to contact another team member and have them do the thing in the comment section, post the video. So we can go into more detail, but I think on here, it's just a general checklist so they know something to follow. Because I mean, it was hard enough to keep this checklist to 2 pages. I'm sure Jesse will agree with that, because we could have really.
But the problem is people are getting, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I have feedback from people going, why did you just post that on my post? I didn't even have a chance to do it yet. I just put them up 2 minutes ago. Like, there's just not enough clarity, and maybe that's just yet on the system that people are not seeing it as help sometimes, So I think that I actually like what Erica just said, but I think we need to give it, if they just put it up, we don't have to pounce on it and put a tool. Let's give it some time, at least 10 minutes. And then if we notice there's no tool, add a tool. Because they may have something in mind that they're trying to get up there.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
When they first get on, they don't want to watch a video. They want to scroll through and see all these.
Yeah.
So give them time to scroll through and look at all the posts. And then, then they log off of Facebook and you're bringing them back. Posted a video. Oh, okay, now let me check this out. And that's the whole thing of this whole having these things in the welcome message is it just keeps pulling them back into the page, pulling them back in, giving them new tasks to do each day so that they stay engaged and wanting to learn more and not just scrolling through. So posting it right away, it kind of defeats that purpose of allowing them that time right off the bat to scroll through.
So you're saying when you welcome someone, you shouldn't post the tool right away, even as the person prospecting them?
I personally don't think it's needed right away because, you want to give them time to kind of look around a little bit.
What would be your thought on timeline?
Within 12 hours for that first video, and then within 24 hours for the next, tag within the welcome post, and then within 48 hours of the next tag in the post, and hopefully within those 48 hours, then and then that final post is you're tagging them into the pricing because they've had 2 days to really look it over. They've seen a video here and there. They should know one way or another whether they want to go forward within 2 days of being in this group.
Erica, that's funny because I noticed some of your welcomes yesterday didn't have videos and I didn't do anything because I knew you probably had a plan in mind.
Me?
I like that idea. That makes a lot of sense to me, Erica.
Mm-hmm. And on
well,
another
it's different than what they say. And I don't care if it's different than what they say, if that's what we want to do. And it's different than what a lot of us have been doing, because they do say right away, put the first video 12 hours later to 48 hours later, because I had her message me back just so I had it straight.
Isn't that
then you add the Eric Hoover get started.
It's so funny they said 12 to 48 hours in that one sample. That seems pretty long.
I know.
Yeah,
that does,
again, you're giving them time to marinate, time to look around in that group, which I think is a good thing. The other thing I wanted to bring up is technically we should have 2 checklists. One is a dumbed down version of invite your friends, but ask them first if they want to be added to our group. post a welcome message, and follow up. For additional training, take a look at our full training document, our checklist in the ISA for Wealth page. But we want people right away inviting people without feeling that they have to go through massive training to invite people to this group.
That's a good point.
So where do you put that?
I had kind of pictured this being more something, for my purposes, I thought I would print out the checklist, put my prospect's name at the top. When I added them to the list, I would check that off. When I posted the first video, I would check that off. I could keep notes on there. And then all of these details that we see here on the screen could be, kind of like when you do your taxes, and there's the form, and then there's the, here's how to do step number 1 and 2. So if people wanted more explanation, they could go to the 2 attached pages.
Yeah, because we don't want to make it too scary that people are not going to bother adding people at all because they don't want to go through all these steps. We want this to be as easy and duplicatable as possible. And then for somebody that really wants to do it very well and make sure they're following up and being a team player and posting, this full checklist is awesome because it goes into the details and everything.
Right. So this would be the full checklist, and then we have the dumbed down version. And we just make sure on the dumbed down version, though, that the rules.
It's a screenshot dumbed down version. I mean, that tiny that you're doing great. How about you post something on Facebook and then you can start adding people to the group. Here's how, boom, picture, dumbed down version.
Yes, I like that.
Right.
And then the full details are in ISA for Wealth. So you're saying this is a resource that we wouldn't post anywhere, Erica. We would send this to our team member that's ready to post.
This whole checklist could be in ISA for Wealth because that is the business building page. But
no, I mean the short version, the dumbed down version.
Yeah, the dumbed down version can be just, message to somebody or just send somebody over a phone. I mean, I had a conversation with one of my people. I'm like, hey, we've got this new site. Here's how to use it. Boom, boom, boom. Additional training to use it really well will be coming out soon. So,
okay, so we need your boom, boom, boom. What's the boom, boom, boom?
Boom, boom, boom is if you have anybody interested in learning more, you can ask them if they want to join our group. If they say yes, add them to the group and post a welcome message. Next step, follow up. That's it.
And then you'll know if they do. Do you want to know though that they did it so you can make sure they're getting the tools in there if they don't do anything else?
Well, the thing is like if this is somebody new and you see a welcome message by somebody you've got new, that to reach out to that person. Like if I saw one of my newbies posting a welcome message, you can guarantee I'd be messaging, hey, congrats! You looks like you added somebody.
Right. I just meant if you miss it, you could miss it.
And you go from there, yeah. But if I try to give this document, which is phenomenal training, let me just say, it's phenomenal. But if I try to give that to somebody that just wants to get their products paid for, they're going to never add anybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so you're thinking just this first section here could be the checklist, and not all the detail. I mean, do you want the examples of what to say?
I think that's all. I think that's all considered training. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For people that do want to know more and really build it, if you've got somebody that wants to build a business, then you're adding them into ISA for Wealth. You're tagging them on this, like, hey, this is, I know you want to build a business. This is how to make this healthy, happy people, the HHP site, really work to your advantage. And you can really tweak what you're saying and make sure it's running as quickly as possible. But for a huge number of people, we just want to get people in there.
Right.
And, they can invite their mom and their sister without having to go through official training.
Right. I agree. And the only thing that I want to make clear on that dumbed down version is that they are inviting them and getting their permission.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is asking them if they want to be added to the group before adding them. Because that's the other thing is we don't want people added. Yeah. I
could see some people going into their whole friends list and adding them all to the group.
So so that's the first rule is, ask someone's permission before adding them to a group, post a welcome message, follow up. 3 steps.
Okay, I like it. Let me go back.
There's like a weird noise happening. I hear it very.
Okay, I hear it now.
If you're not speaking, you guys, we should all mute.
Okay, someone's got to speak.
Lori, did you get kicked off? Lori must have got kicked off again.
Oh, well, no, I'm here. I went on mute. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Are we going through? We're not going to go through the rest of the checklist, though? Or are you just going to send it to us so we can all read it, or what?
Yeah, why don't I do that? Because, I mean, that's the more detailed version, and then we can come up with the dumbed-down version.
So we'll just chime in on messages if we have changes to the detailed version.
Yeah, or do you want me to go through? I can share it again.
You could even do it in the
It's
Mastermind.
getting long.
Yeah, hold on. Let's find it. There we go. Okay. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, so we got to this point. So we have the follow-up as the next part. And, oh, well, let me go back here. So we have the examples of videos. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of videos. We could add in here that these are just recommended, but feel free to choose a video. I just make it clear that you want to choose it from the Isogenics channel on YouTube so that it doesn't leave the HHP page. But we could always add a couple more videos here if you want. Just everyone's thoughts.
Okay, so this is different than what Erica was suggesting. It's what the global executives say. Now we're at 12 to 48 hours. This would be a second post. Is that the way we want that?
Yeah, I'm up here, but here.
Oh, sorry. I was...
So with the first post in the comment section. So we could say once the welcome post is posted, add a link within 12 hours, within 12 hours.
Here's my concern. I think other people from, maybe it's just us hopping in, will hop in and post a video before that, but maybe we're getting it down that they won't do that because we're now learning not to do that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Can I just ask a question? If somebody hops in and posts it, I like Erica's idea of posting the welcome, waiting 12 hours. It kind of keeps that welcome post active and it keeps drawing that person back in. But there's thousands of us to organize. Is it the worst thing in the world if somebody posts a video 6 hours later or 6 minutes later or 6 days later?
No. I say that's no big deal.
It's fine. I mean, we just don't want to post, we know better not to post it that immediate second. So, but if it happens right away, it happens,
Yep.
We'll do our best to post it, sometime within that first 12 hours, just not immediately after they pop on there.
Oh, I'll just do this. Now my thing's all messed up.
I know this takes a long time, but I think this is the biggest part that's going to that's going to keep things that people universal and understand, because we're already making changes from what people might have heard, which might be good changes, but
Well,
I think the details are important.
I just want to ask you, Lori. Okay, so we all, or most of us got on the training, and I love the one they had the V funnel thing heading down to the product page, and all of these different ideas and everything was great. And obviously they're having massive, massive success. So it makes, not like we're making ultimately massive, massive changes, but I think that every change we make then is going, yeah, but let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. So then we're not saying, wow, they're having success, which is duplicatable. Let's just do that. Why are we making all these additional changes if they're having the success and they're, giving us exactly the tools to use?
Here's what it comes down to. I agree with you, Tara, but everyone has a different way they want to do it, which makes me wonder if, so let's just say Lori Tiffany agrees, with Erica's idea to post later instead of sooner. But yet that's not really the way the global executives ideally put it out. That doesn't mean that people can't do it different, which makes me wonder if we should go back to the people just put the tool in. You are responsible for your own tool and the own timing of your tool. And that way they know it's on them. If it's your team member and they don't know what to do, you certainly can help them and have them do it the way you think is right. But that way you don't have people hopping in, sharing a tool before you want them to share the tool. And if you want to be doing it the way the global executives are, you certainly can. So if everyone's responsible for sharing their own tool and you help your team members with that, that might open that up and not cause the frustration. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea. Like, I like to add my own tool. Not to say that it would be the worst thing if somebody else did it, just like Lori Tiffany said, but I like being able to add my own because I know what I want to add in there because I know my prospect. So that's why I would want to add my own. Now, not to say that, for instance, when I was telling Mark about this, I said, you just add them to the page and I will do the rest. I mean, there's situations where you're going to put a comment in if you're trying to help out a team member.
Well, here's the thing also, though. Remember, just because you have these tools and we're doing all this does not mean that the personal contact has not left from you and that prospect. So if the same tool basically goes in for, I mean, that why Isogenics or that new one is experience or why, I mean, it's long, but it is pretty much runs the gamut of everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's professional play, JJ Burden's in there, and it is a pure overview. So now when you've got an athlete or sport something, then it's a great opportunity for you then to have some additional real voice connection and share maybe the Team Isogenics, site with them. Just, checking this out. I know you saw the general overview, but I know you're really interested. You know what I mean? So just because
I agree with that
in there.
Mm-hmm. That's how I'm doing it with that guy. I gave him a general overview, and then I'll go into, why Isogenics and the get started, kind of stuff. But I guess it might solve the problem of when the tool is used, which tool to use, when you post it, if that is up. There's the general guidelines. If you want to do it different, it's up to you. New people not having a clue, I think that's up to their leader to
But how will we know if somebody wants to do it differently? How will we know?
Because they're going to do it themselves. Erica's going to wait 12 hours before she posts it, and it's up to her to put her video in.
Well, exactly. But if somebody didn't know that that's the way Erica was going to do it, and they hopped in there to put one, so how are we going to know whose timing?
Because we're going to say here that they are in charge of putting up their own tool. No one else does it for them.
I'm thinking we take this out. My thought is that we take this part out and just say you will add a link to the video. And then if somebody wants somebody else to do that, we can instruct them like on the side, when we're working with our team, because we're going to help our team get up and running on this. We can say, if you'd like, you can ask another team member to do that. But as far as this goes, it'll just be that it's their responsibility. It's that 100% responsibility.
Yes, I agree.
So the plan would be to post this in ISA for Wealth, tag this at the top, pin it at the top, so everybody that is at all involved in HHP must read this and follow the instructions before adding people so they know this is what everybody's doing from here on out, right?
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Do you think we have that video still because of, that what's his name had recorded that. So, I mean, I think they gave such a great description. Is it better for visual people to not just read this, but to actually watch their video?
Yeah.
All you need to do is
put both
forward to, where they bring out the whiteboard. They don't need to watch the whole beginning, hello, blah, blah, blah. So it might not be some people are really visual, and you just because you put all these directions, they're not going to be able to see how that Or
I
we can
think
do it and
both.
take a screenshot. You know what I mean? Like you can see a screenshot of how, I don't know. I'm just thinking of the visuals.
I think it'd be great to have both available. I think people will work best seeing it. I mean, some people are like, I don't want to have to watch a video, just tell me what to do. And other people are like, I really want to soak it all in, but I can't remember everything they said in the video. I need this, and it will ring a bell when I read these directions. It all makes sense. I think we should have both of them available in some way right at the top. This is, a transcript, of simple steps that they explain here. Plus, it also shares the duplication, that we didn't make this up. These are these highly successful people that are training us. I think it gives us more credibility.
You could certainly do it together. Post the video we want to share, pin that, and in the comments, file of this document and have it all together in one place.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so does this part look good? Do we want to add any additional videos, or just keep it as I said, some recommended videos?
Right. That's good.
Okay, and then follow up. You said 12 to 24 hours, or 12 to 48 hours after the welcome post is where you do the Eric Hoover one.
Tiffany, do we want to add, Erica had mentioned the Are You Toxic? Do we want to like officially put that in the list then or not? As a choice, just thinking. I'm thinking about making it, we all know.
I think that's a choice. I mean, that wasn't part of the system. I mean, but I like the idea. I'm not saying that we can't put that in there, but that wasn't what was part of their system, but it's up. I'm fine either way.
I think just leave it the way it is. You said these are some. If we want to put the resource where you can find more, they can go to isamovie.com. But that's not what you want them to do, is it? Because then it doesn't stay within.
Right. You want them to stay in the page.
That's what I was thinking. If we had, if we added the Are You Toxic, if we added the Team Isogenics here, then we'd know for sure they had the right links to do what we wanted them to do. Because like I said in our little thread earlier, I'm kind of a tech dummy. So I know how to get the link, but I don't know if it's the right kind of link that we want to have in this page.
Yeah, the other thing about we can put that as an optional step is what my thought is because for some people, the Are You Toxic video is not going to apply to them. I have heard people that get really scared off by that video.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree.
So that can be an optional step, that if you know your prospect and think that would be applicable to them, then that's an optional step.
What if we did this? What if you just left the intro ones as these, and then somewhere else, whether it's asterisk and it's at the bottom of the page, we added these are other videos that may work for your individual, depending on your prospect's needs, and we put those like somewhere else, because to me those are more like follow-up videos, because these are overviews of what Isogenics really is.
I like that idea, Lori. My main thing is just that we get the correct links out there to make it easy for people. So, yep,
right.
I like that.
So we put the correct links somewhere else in like an asterisk of these are you may find some of these videos helpful depending on your prospects' goals and needs that you could use as well or at another time, and these are the links you want to use, But for the beginning part, I think they'll be overwhelmed seeing a list of 10 or 5 or 6.
I wanted to limit it to the kind of the 3 that were most used when they were talking about it.
So as we come up with, if we find new videos that we think are really helpful, maybe there's a few that stand out now, we can always edit this document and get the right link in there.
And that's the thing also I wanted to bring up with this is that these videos do change every so often, so we need to ensure as whoever the admins are, and I would love to be an admin, but I can be responsible for that, but to keep these links up to date.
I just want to say something real quick. The other thing they said was that they posted videos throughout the time. It doesn't always have to be in the comment section.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that could just be a regular post for education.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, I have a question. That reminds me of a question about that. So if we use these links for education, it will stay in the group, because a lot of those videos that have been posted take us to other places, which also brings up the question of like isogenicshealth.net and all of those things. They do take you out.
That's why they didn't post them. Yeah, that's why they don't use them.
So they don't even use articles from isogenicshealth.net? Because that's a lot of education.
It's pretty basic. Look, it doesn't mean that you can't, you know, you mean for like just when they're welcoming, like you mean this whole initial?
No.
Oh, you mean just afterwards on there?
Right, just general posts.
Just any post, general posts. As we're educating all the time, a lot of those videos and links, I don't know how to make them not take them out of the page. If you go to isogenicshealth.net, you know, like there's tons of education that you can just generally post. Because I do feel like our page is lacking. We have good energy, but true education in some of those. And those truly come from isogenicshealth.net a lot. So I guess I'm asking.
I don't think that's such a bad thing to take them to Isogenics Health, because they can see what a great resource that is.
Right.
Or you could copy it.
I would do that just after the fact. You know, you could do that when they enroll, maybe, or you could just.
I'm talking about posts.
We're talking about posts in
just
the
general posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, Lori.
Educate everyone.
I think a lot of the reason they don't want them to leave the group is because when you get out onto YouTube, you see some bad videos that have been out there that aren't necessarily truthful. And so you want to post links to keep them in there, not say, go to YouTube and watch this. You know, I think that's the main concern.
Well, and also, did they clarify that they don't want them leaving the group for general posts? I mean, they talked about that when they were posting the videos in the welcome messages.
Right.
But they didn't necessarily say other posts can't take them out. So something like, I don't want them to go to general YouTube, because like you said, Shannon,
right,
it's all those other things out there. But going to Isogenics Health, that's a great resource that I think is important for them to know we have access to.
I agree. I don't think something like that is bad.
Yeah, and all the ISA FYI stuff and the ISA product.
Right.
I just want to clarify before doing it all the time.
Yeah,
I really wanted to add more education.
Yeah, since you have, since she seems to respond to you, could you clarify that, like, general posts, do they ever use articles from Isogenics Health?
Well, it doesn't matter. If it's a general post, it's still going to be in that page so your peeps can see it.
But they take them out. They still take you out.
When you click on it, it takes them to Isogenics Health. Whereas when you click on one of these videos, they watch the video right within the page. They don't leave the page.
Right, but you're saying, so what you're saying, if you just are putting a posting like, because we have to educate them, isn't it?
It leaves the page, so now they're no longer on the page.
No, I know that. But your question is, could we put it in as just a regular post versus what, one of these 5 initial things?
Yeah.
What?
It's just education. Just one of our regular posts.
Tara, I'm just clarifying that it's okay to use them because they take you out of the group. They kept stressing, don't let them come.
I know.
You want to keep people in the group. So I'm just clarifying that Isogenics Health, ISA FYI are okay tools to use, which I personally agree that they are. And I think we should just go ahead with that, because why is that a bad thing for them to end up all over Isogenics Health?
Weren't they stressing that just in the welcome post with the videos? That's the only thing that they were stressing about keeping them on the page, was during that welcome message.
That was my perception, Erica.
Yeah. I think it's just mainly right there that they don't want them, right in that welcome message popping, out immediately. But I think for regular education, those Isogenics Health articles are gold, and it's just got so much references, and it validates everything that we're talking about. I think there's a couple ways you can go about it. You can copy the beginning of the article with some of the key points, and then at the very end, just say, for more information, to read the rest of the article, click here, so that people aren't just clicking on that article first off. They're still staying on the page a little bit to read some of it, and some people will continue reading, some people won't. So that might be a better option.
The only other one was the Eric Hoover one, which it's not in the initial welcome, but that one would have to come from a YouTube channel as well.
Right, that's down here. That's under follow-up.
Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't, they don't leave the page for that.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing that I just want to, the only thing that we don't want to put on there is any posts from our webpage. So anything like product information from our webpage, because they said they really stress the importance of not having them go to your webpage until they're ready to enroll.
Yeah, it's either ISA product, it really should be from ISA product,
right,
or Isogenics Health, or ISA FYI.
Right.
Maybe we need to add that. No, because they're not going to be posting that.
No.
They won't do that.
But we didn't get going.
Half of my people don't know they have a web page.
Okay. So we have the Eric Hoover, 24 to 48 hours. And then we have 48 hours of tagging your prospect in the comments for the price post. And I guess we can clarify here if that's what the post is called, the which Isogenics pack is best fit for you. And then I wasn't sure, I don't think Jesse and I were sure about this last part about setting an appointment, if we want to get more clear about that.
I guess I would agree if you haven't set an appointment at that time yet. I try and do it pretty quick, quickly. But if you haven't set or tried to set an appointment at that point, you would definitely want to be, and you could use any of those tools because they should be pretty educated.
Yeah,
I know that when I first listened to Jill Bauman, she said you should be, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Go ahead. When I first listened to Jill, their upline, share this on isagenicspodcast.com, she said that you need to be calling within no later than 48 hours, which mine will probably be somewhat later, but she did say calling, and they're using other ideas, but.
They also talked yesterday about doing a group message with someone like in your upline and kind of introducing them and then letting that person invite them to a phone conversation. And I thought that sounded like a great idea too.
Yeah, they talked a lot about actually doing the video calls instead of actual phone calls. But I didn't think we needed to get into all of that detail here. That's something that we can go into more in a kind of video training.
Right. I think what you say is fine.
Yeah, okay.
Except for when is it? We need to set a time frame because the others say 48 hours. Do this, but then
I wasn't sure. We weren't sure.
48 to 72.
So after this last, because it's going to be like after each one. So okay.
Right.
That sound good to everybody?
Well, I think if you're showing them the kits, you probably need to call them within 24 hours. I mean, maybe 72.
You're not showing them the kits till 48 hours later.
Right. I'm just saying within 24 hours of that.
Oh, yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Okay.
But that is, right? Oh, I see later. You're saying afterwards. Yeah. Okay. I was misunderstanding the direction.
Okay. Then because we're in the follow-up section, Jesse had in there, and I thought I love this. Follow-up includes posting on the product page, teaching about the products, and included the quote of those that post the most make the most. And then I just added a couple things here about all posts must be compliant, just to have that on there, and no poaching, and how there won't be any exceptions for that. And we figured we make a separate checklist for enrollment of what to do after they enroll, such as using the new associate checklist and things like that.
Oh, this is so wonderful, you guys. This is exactly what everyone needs. For the people that want the step-by-step, you can just give them this. This is wonderful. And then I love that there's an enrollment checklist.
Short, condensed one, something that we could actually just easy copy and paste into a private message. Because Erica, like you mentioned, like I've been sending to my team members just, hey, we have an awesome, you know, this, what the purpose of this group is, invite your people that you've been talking with that are still want some more information to the page, and create a welcome message, and you know, kind of just get them started that way. Does that all look good?
Well, thank you, Jesse.
Yes, thank you, Jesse. And so are we going to put this on ISA for Wealth? And
okay, can I just hop in and say one quick thing? Do we want to put that? Do we want to put the Kathy Coover welcome video link there or not under the enrollment section?
Well, that's going to be a separate checklist.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
And that separate checklist, can we just refer them to the new associate checklist in the back office?
Sure, yeah.
You guys have not started school yet? Oh, it's later there. She's home.
Okay. So are we putting this in ISA for Wealth? And when? Do we want to do something before we post it in there?
We need to find the video that we want with it, right?
Yeah, so did people like the video I put together? Do we want to do a new one? Do we want to do one where a few of us are doing it?
I thought we wanted the global executive video.
Oh, that
Is that right, Kara? Yeah. With them explaining it, the same thing we just wrote out, right?
The one with the funnel looking diagram.
It's the ABCs. That's
yes,
the one
yes,
it
yes,
is.
that one.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So what else?
Okay. If that's all good, then I know we need to talk about administrators. I think, is there anyone on here who, first of all, does not want to be an administrator? Well, we should talk about what administrators do first. So I will write things down. The first thing that comes to mind for me is that administrators watch for all non-compliant posts. And what is the protocol there? I know a lot of people, like Kelly said, you want to message the person explaining before you would delete it and give them a chance to edit it. Would that be appropriate, or is it too scary and you need to delete it right away?
So I think you're asking, I think it depends on the post of if it's really scary.
Depends on how bad it is. If it's horrible, it just needs to be deleted. If it's an easy edit that a message could take care of, then easy edit.
Yeah. So watch for non-compliance,
like
of course.
I'm puking and having diarrhea, and I hate the isogenic snacks and blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's supposedly, that's a conversation. With the global executive, that's okay. The 14-day talk, if you listen to Tracy O'Malley, is that part of the 14-day talk is them sharing the good, bad, and the ugly. and just sharing. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just sharing what they said so we can discuss what we want to do. Okay. And then I asked Lynette, how do you, because I knew that would be one of the first things that was worrisome to people. What do you do when people say, I think the snacks are disgusting? Are we supposed to delete those people? And she said, no, that's when you step up as leaders and help them reframe and explain, what they do and why they're important, and maybe whether it's sucking on them helps, or she gave me some verbiage to use. And that all the positivity, the more you're posting, those are not going to be the ones that stand out. She goes, now that's totally different than someone being an a-hole, with her exact words. And they need to be deleted and kicked out because they're probably a prospect, if they're being, or maybe it's not, being rude, or like Cindy said, she found a fight with people on ISA for Wealth. But the people being honest, I know that's come up in ISA for Wealth before, that people were mad they were deleted for being honest about their opinions on the taste of things. So that is a conversation, I guess, because that's supposed to be okay. And I can see how people would, if they just said, I don't dig these snacks, what do you guys do? And someone deleted that comment. If that was me and that's all I said, I don't know if I would.
No, I don't think that's a problem, but some of the ones we get. And I think that, and then what happens is obviously everyone chimes in, and then it keeps going to the top of the feed. So it keeps staying there. And we've all had instances where new people are afraid to cleanse, or they're afraid to do whatever because they're like, oh my God, and I mean, I'll tell you, all right, between the group of us, I puked when I took the cleanse the first time, but I wasn't broadcasting it on the Facebook page. I was like, first of all, I Googled, and I was like,
I just whined to Lisa.
I don't understand when people do that anyway. Like, what are they trying, I had someone.
They're looking for support. They're looking for support and help, even though that is why they're doing it.
But yesterday they said that if we open up a three-way chat between you, the prospect, and an upline leader, that gives them a safe place to ask those questions that shouldn't be out there on the big group.
You should still be having that communication with your peeps. I mean, that's
why we all do, but we know there's going to be a ton of people that don't do the 14-day talk. They don't prepare people. That's what the people who are posting on ISA for Love most likely are not from any of us. Although I've had people, and I knew her well enough that I said, we just try and keep it positive, and I told her I took it down, and she understood then. But I guess that's a conversation. They said that's conflicting, Shannon, than what they told me, which I think we've had that situation a couple of times. Because I said, what do you about people posting about, not liking the snacks or whatever, and she gave me all this verbiage of how leaders should chime in and reframe it, and people will not be scared and not to worry about that. Well, I'm not saying I care if that's what we do, but
I mean, what do you guys all think? I mean, I just don't think, I can't, they gagged every time I put things like that. Like, I didn't really love them is fine. I don't think that's a big deal. Everyone's not going to like everything the same. But when they're talking about gagging and I couldn't even get it down, they made me puke, and I think it's personally, I think it's a delete, and then the person calling. And if I have a new person and I know that this is one of their people, I would still make the call. I think that they need to feel like they have our support, not just words.
So what do I do when I'm an administrator and I have no idea who this person is? Delete it?
I'd rather err on the side of caution. I don't know. I mean, especially when we remember now, this is before we were having new people and people felt this way. Now we're bringing in prospects.
See, that's my concern. And that's why I never, why when I said on the Mastermind call the other day that I was cautious about getting rid of ISA for Life, because I think those people who have those gagging issues need to have a support system. And I'm really not in favor of shushing people or deleting them because they're real issues, but it's how does it happen in this context? Because I don't want my new people and my prospects exposed to that. That will be give them a reason to say no. Yet once it's the same reason we don't give shake samples, because people say no because they get a tummy ache after the first one, or they didn't like the taste, versus they get a whole box of it. And then they call us and they say, I didn't like it. And we give them ways to work through it and they're fine.
But Lori, maybe there needs to be some instances that we forget that there is a Facebook. I mean, it's all helpless, but if there wasn't, then you would be talking to your person. You would be talking to your person and you'd be saying, you know, how's it going? And you're keeping in touch with them. And, you know, and if you know who you enroll, I mean, we all have people who we've enrolled who enroll the people that they're not going to be coaching them per se. That's all part of this business. It's all about the reaching down and whatever. So I think though you're right. Those personal coaching, they need that connection. But the people who are crying out that they are gagging and puking, they're the ones that can really benefit from you actually having a conversation with them, because they need ultra caring. Now,
I agree with you. The question, oops. Oh my gosh, I just lost you guys. Oh my God, thank God. The question is this. This is what I think would happen in a perfect world when you have someone post that they're gagging or whatever. And I see that I actually somehow know that person, or they are enrolled, or I know who enrolled them, and I say, hey, I'm gonna send you a message and let's just connect and chat, and then I delete it. Or I can send them a personal message. I think that works well. I guess my concern is for the people who is this person who's going to reach out, because they're not going to respond to me, some random person that they don't know yet, trying to tell them that they shouldn't, be posting that. I do coach my people to please reach out to me when they're struggling, and that we know that can happen, but we want to try and keep it positive. On the flip side, I'm not playing devil's advocate, but I'm saying what the reason that I believe, and that it sounds like that they don't tell people they can't post that, and they encourage them to post everything, is so that it's real and it's not just foofy land. That we share foofy land and how everything is roses the whole time. And then they're going to jump in and we're going to say, hey, right away you might have a headache or you might throw up. What? I never saw anything like that. So there's that side of it too. I'm not trying to convince, again, I'm just saying both sides. It's also about being authentic and what we really are and what the process really is. And we're not going to encourage that, to say you hate the snack. If that happens, maybe we are real people. And
I just don't want to see 50 comments. That's why, it just keeps going back to the top of the page.
Mm-hmm.
That as soon as the person who enrolled them or whatever, maybe not deleting it, but saying something and then making a call. Because once somebody,
or maybe because sometimes those issues are resolved, like there's 5 comments, and the person that was struggling says, thanks guys, I appreciate your support. We could delete it then, right? So that no one else needs to really be commenting on it. So it doesn't keep going back, it doesn't go any further. We know that person's got some answers.
Or post a million other things so it just moves down the feed.
What?
Or just post a million other things so it moves down the feed.
Well, that's exactly it. That is the other reason you want to be posting so much education and positive stuff, that stuff doesn't stand out. And I don't think it will. It wouldn't on iStuff for Life either if we were posting more. I'm not blaming anyone, but I really don't think they would, because there'd be so much other awesome stuff going on.
And they see nobody else.
I think the good will outweigh the bad. But I could be wrong. And I'm just saying it how it's been explained. So it's a tough call. I think this is definitely the hardest thing with people's hesitancy on the whole deal.
Lori, you do have a point. When people see negativity, they're going to chime in with negativity. And when they see a whole post, whole post after post after post of positive things, I would be much less likely to jump on and say something publicly negative in that kind of environment. So maybe that's it. Maybe we just do our best to drown it out and address it later if it's an issue.
I think doesn't mean it can't change, and if you think it's really horrible as an administrator, I just don't want people coming to me going, because I know people go, what? My comment got deleted just because I was honest? Then you start getting those.
Right.
And then we found non-supported. Because people do post that. I've read that, and I said a lot. I like.
There's very few things that are so horrible they need to be deleted. Most of them are negative, a few negative comments, positive people chip in and try to help out. I literally in 3 years, I know I've missed some, but there's been 2 that absolutely appalled me that before I even screenshotted or did anything, I deleted it because I was disgusted. But that's only been 2 in 3 years now. And I know I've missed some, and we've tried to do a good job of, contacting people and all of that, but hopefully we won't see much of this. I don't think it's a huge issue we need to waste too much more time talking about. I think leave them, try to coach them, try to bring them around. If we see it's going south, if we can message them and get it off quickly so it doesn't sour prospects' opinion of what they see going on.
And the person who, if you notice it's your team member and it's maybe going south, maybe that's when you jump in and you delete it.
Yeah.
Or if it seems to be resolved, I wouldn't be against, okay, we see 5 comments, the girl came back saying, thanks guys, that helps, and now we can just delete it.
Right.
But I don't think we should delete them and tell them they can't post that stuff. And hopefully it doesn't come up. I'm probably not going to coach them like they do say in the 14-day talk and say, hey, even when you're feeling like crap, no matter what, let us know or how you're doing. I'm probably not going to say that part. But I will say, we want to hear from you, we want to cheer you on and all of those things. Because really the goal is to get them engaged in that group so that they stay supported and they don't fall off. And it's supposed to make your job as coach easier. And that's why they encourage them to post it right away. How they're doing. So anyway, that's a topic. Let's move on. I think, does everyone feel good about that, where we're at for now?
Are we capturing that 14-day talk somewhere in the new enrollment process? Is that going to be part of that checklist?
Tiffany, did you guys already plan on having that as part of the checklist?
Because that's another link that can get broken somewhere along the way.
We can definitely
it should be because that's where they put it on there. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say we can definitely refer to it. Yes, and we can put the link for them to watch that.
It's in the instruction in the ABC video. They show all that, and then they say enrollment, and then the next step on there is the 14. They include the 14-day path on that whiteboard.
We can include that definitely.
Although when we refer to the 14-day talk, it will have Tracy O'Malley telling them to post the good, better, the ugly, whatever on the group.
So are we saying, are we going to show them Tracy O'Malley's, or because they definitely recommended that we create our own.
But they said to make your own, but the only way to know how to make your own is to learn by watching Tracy O'Malley's, is what they told us. Unless you want to create our own and have them watch ours. Maybe that's what we do as leaders. Ask your sponsor about the 14-day talk, and then they'll show them their own video that they create. I don't know. That's a topic maybe for later, but I do think the 14-day talk is good. I kind of do some, but not all of those things, and I think it helps for them to know the symptoms that are normal and to be coming.
It seems to be the way that they control the negativity on their page. That's the only reason I brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they know. So yeah, it's not like, oh my God, what's up with the headache? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the enrollment part. So that's why it's not part of the checklist that
right.
I showed. So that's part of the enrollment checklist. That's separate.
She's asking that question. Is it going to be on the enrollment checklist?
Oh, yeah, I guess am I doing the enrollment checklist?
I'll help Tiffany with this, however. I mean, I haven't helped so far, but I can help you guys.
Well, no, I mean, I know Jessie said she was already going to work on it later because she said she had to go and she was going to work on it later, but I'll help her with it. So, but yeah, I'll make a note to add that to it because I think that is important as far as the enrollment.
Why are we doing a separate checklist other than the associate checklist that the company already has?
Well, is that 14-day talk part of that? I have to go back and look at that. Like setting expectations.
I don't know if it's on there.
Yeah.
It's not, because it's a total separate thing.
Yeah.
I think the new associate checklist can be referred to in the new associate checklist. if you're going to do enrollment the way that they're referring to with some of their steps, that's not in corporates. But I still like the idea of being duplicatable and using corporates as well.
Well, maybe we just have a couple of things. Maybe we just have the Kathy Coover welcome video if we want them to message that. Maybe we reference the welcome letter that's in our file system, and we do the 14-day talk, and then we say, here's the link to the new associate checklist.
Yeah, it could just be a few things. Definitely could be just a few things. I think use the tools as much as possible.
Right. Absolutely.
My feeling.
Then that can be just tacked on to the bottom of that checklist.
Yeah.
And maybe adding one more thing of just like, now encourage your new member, your new team member to add her friends too, using the same system that you just used.
Good point.
Okay, is there anything else that we want the role of administrators to be other than watching for non-compliant posts and wonky posts? I'm calling them wonky, I don't know. Negative posts or whatever.
Bye guys, I gotta go to the bus stop. Okay.
I just got a response back from Paul. I asked him about the welcoming in. And he did say, Lynette will welcome someone in. I'll add a welcoming text from me saying, hey, Susie, whatever, you're going to love it here. Check out the great video about our company, and I'll paste it. I did ask him after that, it's added right away. But what he just said, is interesting. If we did want to go back to that, basically that we just team up, the leaders team up. So, anytime Erica added someone, then Laura, you would be her partner or whatever, or, something like that. That's the way they do it. So I just wanted to share that response he gave me. He didn't say about the timeline. But I asked him that, so I'll let you know if he responds back.
And that's exactly what I was thinking of doing, Tara, with my team members, with my builders, is that when we do our little meeting and talk about this, I'm going to encourage the group to work together so we have that sense of teamwork in that comment thread. So, we'll partner up within our little team as a subset of the bigger team.
Right.
What is
yeah,
so let's
there's flexibility in it, I think.
Yeah, so for the admins, so it's really just making sure everything's compliant. Do we want to have anything say that we're responsible for, I don't know, a certain, like, keeping it up, posting going on, or I don't know, making sure it stays
Well,
up.
I was going to suggest that admins, do both of those things. Okay, so admins maybe are posting at least 5 times a day. You want me to say that, or
well,
only on
I don't
certain
know if we need
days?
to have those strict rules, because if we go on vacation, go on vacation. I don't.
Right.
Not to say that I'm not posting while I'm on vacation, but I don't want like if I'm out of the country, I don't want to have to.
And besides, we all know that the people that post the most make the most. So we're gonna,
Right. I don't think they need to be.
Right.
I was just going to say, the posting is not going to be a problem, I don't think, once for the people that get this whole gig.
Not once I'm an admin and have Hootsuite, for crying out loud. Don't worry about that.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
I can't wait to have Hootsuite availability on this.
I think that we should, if other things come up that admins need to be responsible for, that's great, but anyone can say they're an admin, want to be an admin and say they're going to be doing these things and they're not, and then we also, the other problem is when we're first getting into this, people are like, oh my gosh, look at this. Not everyone's an admin to delete, or should we delete? And we cannot be responsible to be on here 24/7. So do we want to split it up that, on Mondays and Thursdays, I'm supposed to be watched, 4 of us are like on high alert or whatever you want to call it, or something like that, because how do we know that someone's really looking and watching all the time when we've got something non-compliant up there for 2 days?
I have to tell you, as much as it bummed me out, I had to practically beg people to take a week on ISA for Life to help out with posting. That was so freeing for me when I knew that it was someone else's. Like when Laura had it for that week, she posted multiple times each day. It was so exciting, and it took the pressure off me. So I think that is a great way to stay organized. But, like Erica said, the people that are on there every day are going to be on there helping out anyway. But if you have maybe a couple people overall, like, it's their responsibility for this week or this day or however you want to do it, I think that's probably a good idea, knowing that everybody's job is to chip in and help.
Exactly. I mean, we're mostly all going to be on there over time, but I just don't want it to be that, you feel uncomfortable being gone and you're hoping people, not everyone's gone for time and watching, and I don't know.
I think that's something that we can address if we start to see it slipping, like how, I mean, right now everybody is fired up to be able to post on this. Yeah. I don't think we have to address that now.
Right. I don't think
everyone was an administrator, it's probably easier.
Yeah, and I was even thinking about team members, trying to get them included. So, I was going to ask some of them to, have say, hey, this week, can you do the ones that aren't that involved? Maybe that's something we can do with our individual teams, is to say, hey, this week, why don't you post, however many times, just to help get them involved and see the fun of that page. Not something they have to do, but just ask if they would like to, kind of thing. I mean, it was just an idea that I had for my team that isn't that involved on Facebook, of just asking them to do that. And as a little bit of a responsibility, it's kind of like asking people to bring cups to a party. They have to do something.
One thing that just reminded me that we also need to watch out for. I know that I caught this and went and found whoever was connected to them. We're reminding them, and they're just now learning that prospects are on there, but I had someone was asking that they were using body by body as their comparison, and Betsy did a great job of just reframing what isogenics was about, but then someone said there's a Shake It Up group. And we don't want our prospects going and trying to find the Shake It Up group to go find all of our isogenics comparisons to all these different companies, right? So I saw it, and then I found our mutual friends. So is this your team member? She said, yes, just delete it and I'll take care of it. Those are other things that we need to be watching for, is that we're directing people to the right place when they have questions, and team members who may not realize. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And keeping it positive for sure. I mean, it's one thing when it's someone that doesn't feel well, but, not the downward spirals. I guess that would be other things you have to look for. We need to have people, I guess, administrators that are like all of us, that are educated enough to know that we don't want someone going to a Shake It Up group, a prospect. So who do I make administrators? Everyone, like Tanya, do you want to be an administrator? You don't have to be. Yes? You feel good? Okay. And then is there, I guess, I don't think I'm going to make every executive or mastermind at this point an administrator, since we have not heard from them, but they've watched this and know what's the scoop. Does that make sense? For now, it's just the people who are on this call.
Yeah, I agree. Because with the mastermind group, my goal and my intent for that group was what we're having today, that I wasn't the only one talking. So great that we finally have this, but we have some non-engaged executives in there for sure. So,
right.
Yeah.
So if they watch this, they'll know after they watch the whole thing, they can say, Lori watched it, I'm interested in being an administrator, and all in. And
yep. If they want, they can reach out to you, and absolutely, because they're
it doesn't have to be me, anyone they're close to that's an administrator in this group. I think we all just need to keep a watch on that, though, the people who are really engaged and going to use it and know. Is there a way I can get a list, Cindy, of do I need to write them all down now so I remember everyone?
You can go under the members in the mastermind group, just click on members, you'll see everybody that's in there.
No, I mean that's on this call, but I need to write all of our names down. Like, who's this person on the phone? 33.
Do you have?
Okay. Who's the phone person? 330-204-5122.
That's Val Gerber.
Okay. I haven't heard from her if she wants.
And then remember, Jessie was on, obviously.
Right, Jessie.
Val is at work, so I'm not sure if she's muted here or not.
Randy,
I'll let you add her if she wants to be.
And of course, Kelly was on here, but I think she had to go.
And Sue,
she already is an administrator.
Yeah.
Sue Wheeler had to go. She doesn't want to be one yet.
Shannon.
No, she doesn't. She told me. Mm-hmm. So, Cindy, you talk to Val, and if she wants to be, you can make her line once and if you want.
Okay. Yep.
I think that's everything. My only other topic I really wanted to discuss, and it doesn't have to be today, is is really a lot that they talked about needing for people to get some focus is needing comments on their personal pages too, and really supporting everyone that, you know, posts. And I think we're so enthralled in this that I don't see as much of that going on. And it may just be because it's new, but we're all helping each other and commenting on the posts we put in Happy Healthy People. I don't see as much of it happening out on our timelines, which is where we need to find our prospects to add to them. So I don't know, and I don't want everyone going around feeling like they have that responsibility all day either, because that's unrealistic. I just kind of had some thoughts on that, utilizing, I don't know, like I almost thought of like small teams, or maybe you do it on your own team with your business builders. I just like the blitzes, only you can't do a blitz in ISA for Wealth because there's too many people.
Not anymore.
So you need to split it up in a whole bunch of small groups. That's the ideal thing. I don't know how that would be done. And I guess to me, for it to stay authentic, because you only, even just having like 5 in a group is good. You don't need 100, you know, to get it going, and then it no longer looks authentic anymore. And then if you're hearing from different people all the time, you know, like I sit there and think of my strong people, I comment on their posts all the time. Well, that's not even that's not even saying anything anymore, because it's always me. We want to kind of split that up. So it's not something to figure out on this call, but I think it could really help bring a lot more people in if we're out there supporting on lots of different people's posts. But I don't know how to do it and how to split it up in groups, but I'll think about it. But I don't know if that was something you guys would appreciate, having your team members. I know that I sit there and think I'm going down through all my team members every day looking for their posts, and then I'm trying to help other people too, and then you're trying to do HHP. And so I guess I just think that's an important topic at some point. That's all I have on my list. Anything else?
Just ISA for Wealth, and I think that's another call. We probably should have a call on where we see the vision of that group going. But for now, what I would love help with is I wanted to commit to a weekly coaching call with anyone doing 90 games that wants coaching and help. So I scheduled them every Friday, 12 o'clock, and would love any of your ideas on training topics. Anyone wants to help, would love that. I have a couple ideas. I was talking with Sue. One of them just simply talking about creating consultants, and we've done that before with webinars and things, but I'm talking quick. I'm not talking hour-long trainings. I'm talking 10, 15 minutes. I mean, I'll block 30 minutes, but I'm hoping it'll be short, sweet, and simple is what Sue and I were talking about this morning. Maybe talk to a couple people that have had a lot of success with a 90-day game plan in the past, have them share. But we're talking like what I want to talk about on Friday's call is specific tasks. Organization. Erica, I just watched your YouTube video for the first time this morning on your planner. I never saw the video, but that kind of stuff. And Lori's organizational thing that she posted, thank you for that, Lori. Like just talking about how they can be daily organized and daily do their tasks and getting things done instead of just like giving them a, rah-rah, 90 days, woohoo, giving them specific tasks that they can be doing. So I really would love any comments, feedback, suggestion. Anyone wants to help and, do a call. I really would love the help from you guys on that.
I certainly will help. I don't know. I'll have to think of a topic. You know what I mean? I can't off the top of my head. I'm more than happy to do something, but I'm sure I'll think of something.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind doing it. So,
yeah.
Who's going to post up on? Okay, you finish this, and then I'll keep my thought.
No, that was the big thing. I did start doing the recognition in there. This week I did it in ISA for Life, and then I carried it over. I'm still going to stay with ISA for Life until we're done and decided what's going on here. So I've had a few people step up and really try to help me with that because I am concerned still that the people there that aren't involved in HHP are getting something. So I'm still doing that, but I do want to have a call maybe on how we see this group changing with all the changes going on. And I think that's probably a whole new call since we've been on for quite a while here today.
Tiffany, are you the one who's posting the checklist then in the video, or do you need me to do that? Or Cindy, did you want to be the one that does that because it's your group?
It's our group, and Tiffany, go for it.
Okay, and which exact video is it? Is it number what? Do you know?
62, I think, but it's called the ABCs.
ABCs, okay. just want to make sure I post the right one.
The one before it is awesome too. You can reference to it. They're all, actually, could you just tell me watch all of them?
Well,
kidding.
If you didn't record them, you can't if they're not.
I'm kidding. But yes, that ABC's one is the one that really explains what you went through.
What is 61 on? It was the gardening one. What is that about? Finding people?
It's what is planting seeds. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's more than that. It's pretty awesome.
I got to find that too.
Yeah, they're all.
It leads up to it.
One of my thoughts, Cindy, for the ISA for Wealth page was, I love this HHP. I think it's such a powerful tool for all of us. And I would love for anybody that is interested in really using it to the extent that it can be utilized on our teams, maybe putting a post in there saying, if you would like training on how you can really use this tool to your best benefit, we're going to post the things daily, and we can have like the same description at the top of each post on ISA for Wealth, and that way they can easily find them and kind of go through daily and do each one at a time, because I don't feel that we can duplicate what the posts that the trainings that they've done, just because they really layer them very well. Obviously we're all getting a lot out of them, so I thought if we just posted those on there, and also why reinvent the wheel? So if we posted those on there, it would be a great training for anyone that's interested. It's not something they have to go through, but anyone that's interested, they can go through it. And we can, of course, when we're talking to our team, tell them to go. And that way it's they go to ISA for Wealth to find that resource.
So do we know how many of the Periscopes were captured on YouTube? I know they are capturing them all now, but how far back are we going to be able to watch?
I know, I think it just goes back to 49, but they do repeat a lot of the stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, they always refer to like how, a month ago they did this same one. Yeah. Now, I'm sure they said different things, and I don't know, none of us were really watching them that early. But I know I've gotten a lot out of it. I just started watching them last week. Was that when we all started watching them? I mean, I feel like it's
49 is recorded, Tiffany?
Yes.
On YouTube.
Yes. It's the one, they actually, I think they've repeated it recently, but it's the one for the dip theory.
Where's that one? I haven't gotten that.
It's if you go to Larry Fuchs' channel, L Fuchs 1959, he has all the ones that are.
And they're titled.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea.
Cindy, I'm not sure you want her to post anything about the HHP group in ISA for Life yet, though, right?
No, not ISA for Life. ISA for Wealth, you mean?
Oh, I thought you were talking about ISA for Life. You wanted to also
no,
put
ISA
something.
For Wealth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, and the one thing we're going to need to be ready for is there's still a lot of people in ISA for Wealth that don't know what's going on with HHP. So I think when you post this post, Tiff, you can maybe make mention of it, and we need to be prepared. There might be a lot of people wanting to be invited in. So I think we need to be prepared for that. But I think it's all good.
It's all good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So when someone wants to be invited in, we just make sure they know there's prospects and team members, and can do the short, if you want to add something, Erica thing. If you want to know more, look at the top ISA for Wealth thing. Yeah. It's pinned.
I think if they want to be added to HHP, if they're building a business, they need to be built in Isagenics for Wealth, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
You'd be adding them to both pages, right?
Well, we're talking about the people that are in ISA for Life. There's some that don't even know about HHP yet. So when we start posting this checklist and all of that, we're probably going to have people that are saying, oh, I want to be in HHP. So we need to be ready for kind of an influx of people.
Now, how are you going to be handling the fact that you've got people that are not in our downline on that page as guests?
I have already talked to the Mastermind group and told them to go in there and delete. There's not a ton in ISA for Wealth. There's a ton in ISA for Life. Right. And they're not going to be coming over. Yeah, so I told all the Mastermind people that are administrators in that group, go in, and if you see anyone that's not on our team, just take them off. They won't even know.
Yeah, well, I'm not posting any of this in ISA for Life. This is just going to be ISA for Wealth.
Yeah. We have to deal with ISA for Life later. Cindy has a lot of work to do because of all of those people, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, in the beginning, I just was abundant to everybody. I felt like everybody that didn't have support, I wanted to help. And, you know, and it didn't hurt me to do that, but it's not going to work with this new system. So the ISA for Wealth group, there's not very many at all. So I think we're good there. But I asked everybody to go through and clean it up. And we have people that have fallen off that are still in there. And that doesn't really hurt, I guess, to keep them there. Who knows? Maybe this will get them re-excited again and they'll want to come back.
And Lori,
so to be clear, we don't talk about this in ISA for Life yet.
Yeah, and not unless you want 5,000 people coming.
Or that's fine. I just didn't want the people who aren't connected to you.
Yeah.
There were people that I found on the HHP site who are not connected to our team when I was doing that scroll looking for the people that I added a long time ago when you first started this, Lori. So I've deleted them. But that was a matter of, at the time, we didn't realize that it was just for our team. It wasn't set out that way. So there were some outsiders in there that I was able to identify. So maybe you guys will have people in there that you can identify as well. And so my people that I know aren't part of it are out.
That was never said, which we never, I guess you're right, there was no clarification, but my intention ever from the beginning was that it was for our team. I don't know how that got conflicted.
Was that what it was, ISA's testimonials?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be just for our team, for sure, I guess. But anyway, speaking of members, I would say we need to start going through them. Obviously, there's going to be a ton you don't recognize because of all the prospects. And let's kind of look through those closer while we're as small as we're ever going to be. And I know there was a concern there's people there from other companies. If you know the person who added them, it might be worth checking that they're a true prospect. Not saying you have to go do those things. It's something that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Because again, the reason I brought it up with you, Lori, to begin with, is because they might have been bona fide leads, people from Beachbody who said to whoever, I'm interested. Or back when we were ISA for testimonials, it might have been a situation of, this is this friend of mine who I really wish was on my team. I'm going to just plug her in without asking and hope she'll get convinced by osmosis. And now they're there with all of our prospects.
Which I'm honestly not totally worried about because, I don't know.
Well, we can't totally
any way that it would,
we can't totally
well,
control it.
Yeah, we can't totally control it. And there's nothing I care if they steal. It's all authentic stuff that's out there. And if they're going to try and steal some away underhandedly, I guess that happens. I don't know. I'm not worried about that. But I would rather them not be there if they're not a true prospect, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Does that make sense? I will look. I'm going to take a closer look. If I notice it, I'm for sure going to ask the prospect, how did this person get added? Or did they say they wanted to be? They're interested in isogenics, you know? I would say that's something legitimate for us to watch for. If you automatically notice that someone's description, they are with another company, I think it's worth looking into. What are you laughing at, Lisa?
Someone was messaging me at the same time.
Okay. Well, I think we're good. I knew this would be super long. I'm sorry if it was exhausting to people, but I think it was worth it.
I will go re-listen to what I missed. So
have fun with that.
I'm yawning doing this stupid 5 a.m. club you guys all roped me into. I normally sleep into like 8 or 9, so this is killing me.
I wasn't, yeah. It is sort of mentally exhausting.
3 already today. 3 shots, 2 cups of coffee, and I'm still fucking yawning.
It's on record.
I saw you guys.
She
don't
said
get so
she's
mad
a good
about
girl.
people
She
talking
doesn't
about the
curse.
snack.
Or she curses.
And we're mad at people saying they're gagging. Hey, we're throwing the F-bomb around. Let's be real.
Sorry.
Well, thank you guys. This is what I've always envisioned for a mastermind group. This is it.
Yay!
Yep.
It's organic.
Well, I'm psyched.
Okay. I just want to say, Cindy, I'm sorry that well, I'm just happy, okay, for where we're at right now. I know that you're not the only one who, you know, in the middle of all this chaos has maybe gotten mixed messages or misunderstood things and taken things personally. And I guess, like Kelly said at the beginning, we just have to realize that leaders go first, and this is not about us. It's just not. It's not about us. It's not about who's financially connected to us, other than, yes, they need to be financially connected to Cindy to be in there. But as far as the support and the help, we are there for every single person in that group. And I don't even look at my tree to see. I don't even know which one of you guys are financially connected to me anyway, because I love you all the same, and all of your people. So I just really want to keep the main thing, and it's hard to do sometimes. So I think we just all have to remember that we're here to lift the whole team up and freaking explode.
And we do have people that are on today that do work full time and that are engaged. So they'll watch this, and I know they'll want to help. Val actually sent me a message. She's on mute, and she said she would do anything she possibly could to help, but it'll be in the evening. So that's absolutely cool. We get that when people work full time, they can't be on Facebook. They can't be policing negativity. But in the evening, I'm sure they'll be willing to help out too. So
she wants to be an administrator, right?
She said she'll do whatever to help. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Gina Gillen wants to be involved too. She wants to be an admin. So she works during the day.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to wait till after those people have watched this till I officially do that, so they know what the admins are supposed to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. I'll post
it. Have a great day.
I get it.
Okay. See ya.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.